Hi, guys, and welcome to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today we're going live. I hope everybody is doing well. How's everybody doing? If you are tuning in tonight, go ahead and um, leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing, where you're from. I rarely go on live at nighttime, but I'm just going to be here for maybe about 30 minutes to an hour. Hi, guys. Hope everybody is doing well. Hi. I decided to do it at night. Um, Hi, Axel Jacks from the UK. Oh my goodness, it's probably like 2 a.m. over there, somewhere about there. Hey, everybody. We have California in the house, Texas, Florida, Chicago, Kansas City. Yay. Iowa, Boston. So, how's everybody liking the energy now? If you are not aware, we are under a Mercury retrograde. We just had a solar eclipse. We had a new moon, and then we have so many planets: Saturn, Neptune, you name it. They're all in retrograde right now. It is intense, intense. A lot of people are feeling it. Louisville, hi Australia. Good morning, Australia. It's morning time over there. It's funny how it's night here and they're in the daytime right now. Depressed, tired, sad. Hey, everybody. So I wanted to talk about a couple of things. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is um, objects and handwriting. Okay, it's something that I have known about for quite some time. Things that I'll be teaching on my Patreon as well. But I wanted to take tonight to talk about these things. Now, um, when we're talking about people who do magic, right? Whether it is voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, etc. Sometimes these people need something, and you probably have heard this before. They'll need something from you, a personal belonging. Um, we live in the day and age where people don't need your writing unless it's maybe like for something that you're going to do, like an application, etc. So I had this scenario not too long ago. It was an experience that I had where I went to a magical shop and this person knew that I was a reader, right? And this person in the shop shall remain nameless. And the person asked me about my services, but I didn't have my business card on hand with me. And I actually they wanted my my name and phone number or my website, so they could, hi Jennifer, to contact me, right, in case. But this person, we live in a day and age, right, where you definitely should be very, very aware of energies and people's intentions. Now, not everybody has a bad intention, but you need to trust your intuition. In this case, I knew that I shouldn't have given my name or website in my own handwriting out. Okay. People nowadays have phones, and basically people exchange phone numbers all the time, or they'll follow you on Instagram, or they'll ask you to go ahead and you know just use their note system on the phone and put in your phone number, right, or your website, etc. Try to avoid giving people who ask for your signature or for your writing, especially if you're in a spiritual shop. Try to never do that. If you can pay in a method, I think it's like credit is the one that you would have to pay with signature. If you can pay with debit or you can pay in another form, try to avoid that. The reason that I'm saying is because a lot of witches, a lot of people in the witch community know about this as well. A lot of people use signatures. They use your handwriting to do spells, spell work. Now, this person had asked me for my information that they were going to contact me, but I already knew that I shouldn't have given that information out, right? And so I shouldn't have, like, not given the information, but I shouldn't have given my handwriting to this person, because I knew that they were not going to, I already knew what their intentions were. So the person never contacted me, but they stayed with my handwriting, right? So if that ever happens to you, you need to trust your intuition. My spirit guides are very, very good. They always talk to me. And at the time, I knew that I wasn't supposed to be giving my handwriting out to this person, because again, people can hex you. People, I hate to use the word curse and hexes, because a lot of people believe that only, psychics mention this only to extort money from people or do that. But the thing is that curses and hexes are very, very real, and they do exist. Never give a personal object that belongs to you to somebody that you don't even know, right? There's a lot of people oh, I love that. Not even your best friend, because there may be best friends out there that have bad intentions, or they have something attached to them. So don't give anything personal at all. If you do what I did, you can reverse whatever they did. Write your name down on a sheet of paper. However, whatever you gave them in writing, write it in reverse and then burn it in a sheet of paper. Okay. You can take those ashes and you can spread them with sea salt. And basically, this is like counteracting and reversing the spell that was done, or whatever magic was done against you. You will know if magic is being done. I'm dropping pearls of wisdom here for a lot of you that are young, or some of you that I'm 38. So I've been around for a while. I've read a lot of books. I, have friends that are witches and stuff like that. So I'm speaking to you from experience. If you're in your 20s right now, use some common sense. If you are 18, 19, or 20, use your common sense. Do not give people your brush. They were like, maybe your best friend's like, oh, let me go ahead and use your brush. I forgot mine. I'd be like, no. Why? Because your brush has hair, your own hair. People will use nail clippings. They will use hair. They will use anything that they can get off of you. But it's different when they are asking for the object and you go ahead and willingly give it to them. It's gonna always have an effect on you. So be very, very careful when you do that. Now, going back to this person, they never contacted me. I knew that as soon as I had given them my handwriting and I had gone out of the shop, I knew that they had bad intentions. Another thing that you can do, if you do have to give your handwriting or do anything, you can say something in your mind like, I call upon all of my ancestors for protection, Archangel Michael, and that all the signature that I'm doing right now in this moment is null and void from any magic. It cancels out any magic. You have the power to do that. So it's very, very important for you to speak that and kind of bind it ahead of time. Because I have a lot of people that come to me, and I'm not a fool. I already know their intentions. They'll order an autographed book from me or my cards for the purposes to do spell work on me. These are other spiritual practitioners. And they think that I'm not aware of it, but I am aware of it. And I do see their intentions. So every time that I sign something and I autograph it, I'm always putting a binding on it, a binding magic on that. And a lot of people don't know that. So yes, when I sell my oracle cards, the Starseed Footstep oracle cards, and I'm trying to see if I have a copy here. I don't have them right now with me on hand, but I have my Starseed Footstep Oracle cards in my book. And if you buy it off my website, I will go ahead and give an autograph. So basically, whatever they're doing is null and void, but they can try. But in this case, I was kind of caught off guard. So never give your signature to anyone. If people ask you for jewelry and things of that nature that are personal belongings, don't give it to them. And if you are selling something that is yours used, this is why I don't buy used antiques and I don't wear used clothing, because it has energy from other people. But if you are giving something of yourself away, go ahead and sage it. Use Palo Santo, sage it, clear your energy off of the object before you give it to somebody else. And that goes for blood too. You can also do a protection spell on your blood whenever you go to these places. You'd be surprised, witches exist everywhere. And I'm not saying this to strike fear for everybody, but just to create an awareness. Like when you go to the labs to give blood work done, those people can take a little bit of that blood to do blood magic. There's different magics that people can do. There's air magic, there's fire magic, there is blood magic. There's just so many different levels of magic that people can use certain things, but it's most effective when they have something that's willingly given to them from the other person. So be very, very careful with what you're doing. And I could swear that spirit was slapping me left and right on my face and telling me, like, child, you should have known better. Because I should have known better than giving my signature, well, not signature, but my handwriting to this person, because the shop owner actually had read me and had gotten my information already in case they decided to do a fair whatnot. So it's all in a day's work. People are like that. So yeah, listen to your spirit. Hey, Will, listen to your spirit guides when they're talking to you, because I could swear to God that my guardian angels and my spirit guides were slapping me for being dumb. Okay. And it's not that, I was being dumb. I don't want to talk bad about myself, but we live and we learn. And so it's very, very important to just pay attention to intentions and what you feel. And like, I knew in that moment I shouldn't have probably given that to that person, but I did. So, but they will get back whatever they do. Whatever is done intentionally with a bad intention or bad vibration, it does come back. And I do believe in that. I do believe in karma, even though a lot of witches or people that are in the magical community, spiritual community, some people don't believe in karma, or that karma comes back. They believe it doesn't exist, but I'm a firm believer that it does. So I wanted to share that, and now I'm going to open it up to things that y'all want to know about. I'm reading all the comments here. How can you protect? Okay, Madi Petty says, how can you protect yourself when you give blood? You can do this several ways. Okay, one way is to prick yourself like a diabetic would, to check their blood with a lancet. And you can use like a drop of your own blood and put it on your altar in a candle. And you can basically say a spell that any future blood that is given is protected. I'm not going to give too many ways of doing it. A spell, prayers or spells, whatever you want to call it, incantations. There's different ways that you can word it, but basically to protect yourself. Okay. Now, some people use and I'll get into this, kind of gross TMI, but a lot of women that have their monthly cycles, a lot of them use that kind of blood sometimes for spells. And this is like the stuff that I'm very uncomfortable with. I never cross that. I don't believe in blood magic or things of that nature, although sometimes it can be used for good intentions. But there are people that use their own blood for magic and stuff. And so, yeah, I definitely that's a territory that I don't cross. I keep it in the light. I keep it white, and I don't cross into the dark things. And to me, when you start dealing with your own bodily fluids and stuff, it's a lot different. Some of you are like, yuck. Well, you asked, so I'm telling you. Thank you, Trish. Trish says, I love your energy. So I'm just answering spiritual questions that y'all may have for a couple of minutes here. Thank you, Judy. She says, I love my Starseed Footstep Oracle cards. And yes, I do autograph all of my cards that I sell, and also my book, Starseed Footsteps. Okay, Doll J for Josh says, Ray, I'm shook. I recently bought a used limited edition hoodie from someone online. I clean it and say a prayer before wearing it. That's perfect. And you can sage it. Once you do the cleansing of the object that you have, in most cases, it will be cleansed from that. But you have to be very careful with what you get. How to protect when doing tarot. Monique NB says, basically get sage, Palo Santo, kind of put your cards around that smoke, and you can say a prayer as well. Another thing with tarot cards, when you have them, don't let anybody else touch them. don't let them. A lot of readers like clients to shuffle the cards for them. That's a big no-no for me, even though I don't do face-to-face sessions. But I will never, if I did, I would never let any client touch my cards. The only reason why, because they're sacred energy and they're supposed to be only for the person that is reading the cards, okay? But again, to each their own. I'm not going to sit here and pretend or say that, my way is the right way, because there's a lot of different ways. To each their own. Some people do it a different way. Some people don't. Dying for a read. When I get the money, I'll get there. Thank you, Ashley B. Where can I get real Palo Santo? You can get that anywhere. Basically, it smells better than sage, in my opinion. You can get it from Etsy. You can get it from Amazon. You can get it from all these different sources. Let's see here. How do you know when not to get a reading from a psychic that's sketchy? Bianca 1013. How do you know when not to get a reading? You'll know because the person may give you some information that doesn't resonate with you. They may start talking about spell work that is needed to lift something up, and then whatever you paid in addition, they want to sell you or upsell you products, or tell you that you need to come back to them, solely come back to them, like for additional readings every week, or they'll ask for something greater, and then they may strike fear into you. A lot of psychics that are, like what you said, sketchy, they use fear as a tactic to scare the person. Now, a lot of people are afraid to come to me, that are tuning in, because they're afraid of hearing what I'm going to say, because they feel like I may give them negative information, and that's not the case. Whenever I do a reading for a person, I always operate out of the light and out of the highest and greatest good for people. I work with my angels and my spirit guides. I always cleanse and protect myself. The way that I deliver the messages are very delicate. I would never tell someone in my readings when they're going to die, or if they are going to get cancer. These are things that are, like, again, ethics and like lines that you don't cross. And these are things that I'm teaching on my Patreon as well, in both tiers. When I get the chance, I'm teaching this on that platform. But basically, you don't you just need to pay attention for those kind of things. How can you disconnect from others' energies or block negative energy? That's from Dana Turner. That's a good question. Essentially, if you, at the end of the day, okay, so when you interact with people throughout the day, right, you're always talking to people, you're always around them. If you're an empath or someone that has spiritual abilities, you're very, very open. There's going to be an energetic exchange, even if you are not around people. Let's say you're just on social media, you've already tapped in, you're looking at posts, you're looking at pictures, you're tapping in, believe it or not, to other people's energy. So at the end of the day, cleanse yourself, spray yourself with protection spray. Say something to the effect that I call back all of my power at the end of the day, and ask, and do the white light visualization or the gold light. I tend to operate more of the gold light than the white light, because the gold light deals with the divine masculine. It deals with Archangel Metatron. It's a very, very powerful thing. And so I use the gold light a lot, and I just visualize the gold light going through me and surrounding me as well. And that will help you to disconnect or block negative energy. Mora Baizi says, what would you recommend to help me heal from negative energies? For you, it's definitely setting boundaries. That's from Mora Baizi. And use black tourmaline, hun. Black tourmaline is going to be very, very important for you. I suggest for all of you out there, black tourmaline. Monique MB, do you do email readings? Yes, I do read private people. A lot of people see my YouTube channel and they see that I read a lot of celebrities, and they think that I only read celebrities and I don't read everyday people or people that are not celebrities. And I do read people that are not celebrities. Brooklyn says, how does doing past life readings help with current obstacles in life? It's very important to get a past life reading. I do them. Other readers do them as well. You don't have to go through me if you don't want to, but again, that's an option. But past life readings really help you because they help you identify, karmic lessons, roadblocks, things that are playing out in your current life. A lot of us are struggling every day with a lot of issues that are happening, in our current life. And the past life reading usually will deal with the things that have happened in your past, cycles and things that are repeating in the present, and how we can actually address those. There's different ways to address those, so it's so good to know who you were in the past, because your past is connected to your present. The past person that you were before you reincarnated is very connected to you, and a lot of things that are very similar, they start playing out in the present. Let me see here. Micah Collins says, I was scammed 5,000 grand from a psychic last year, but I was blessed by. Oh my goodness. Yes, you have to be very careful. See, the thing that I teach is about empowerment. And any of my clients that know me know this is to be true. I'm not the type of person to say, oh, well, because I have a lot of clients that come to me and they're like, well, when should I come back for a reading? And there's some clients that have the money, and they kind of use it to like psychic hop, or they're very like addicted to psychics. And so they'll contact, once they find a good psychic, they'll contact that person over and over and over, like every week for a reading, or every day for a reading. I'm just using that as an example. You will know a good psychic from, because a good psychic like myself, if I've had that in the past where someone wanted to come to me every week for a reading, I put a stop to that immediately. It's not ethical. It's not and if you don't put a stop to it, the person is going to continue to do it, expecting something. It's unrealistic to do that. So like once every 6 months, I tell clients, whenever you feel that it's needed, but you need to give time in between readings for things to transpire. Again, once every 6 months, once a year, it all depends on you. I try to empower clients as well. Of course, I understand that things come up during that whole year that where you may need an emergency reading, you may need some insight, but I try to empower people to utilize their own gifts and to use the reading kind of as a way to navigate and make the best decisions using their own free will. So yeah, pay attention to that. If you have someone that's like just eager to take your money every week or ever so often, let me just set this down because there's so much energy that I'm trembling. I can feel it through my hands. Okay. Axel Jack says, Ray, I started reading tarot a few weeks ago and I've never sage or cleansed. I've been having vivid dreams and nightmares. A few were about the cards. Do you think that that's why? Absolutely. That's why. I mean, you have to protect yourself. The cards themselves are actually a portal, like they are a tool. There are a connection to the other side. They don't give you all the answers. Your intuition comes into play to read any kind of cards, whether they're oracle or tarot cards. But again, they are more of a tool. And it's just like using a pendulum, using a Ouija board. Please don't use a Ouija board, but like a pendulum. All of these are basically tools. How do you sage yourself? Lauren Martin says, how do you sage yourself? Is there a certain way to do it? I'm a firm believer that there's different ways to do things. There's no right or wrong way. I like to sage myself holding my sage stick and going from the top of my head, and I'll circle my arms and then go down my feet, and I do the front and then I do the back. There's different ways, and then I use a protection spray, which I have here. So I'll spray myself with the protection spray as well. I also have my my Banish oil, so I use this. This is my oil. I sell it on my website, and to banish or remove any negative energy for protection. So there's different ways that you can do it. Have you ever been to Kelly Malone says, have you ever been to Old Town Springs in Houston? I've been to Houston and Spring, Texas, but I haven't been to Old Town Springs. It sounds haunted. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Colleen. She says you're amazing. J Cat Slat, I like that name, says, how do I break a soul tie? Very, very important, because that's something that comes up. Actually, I have a friend that was coming to me because they were in a relationship with someone that was trifling, basically, and they still thought about this person and couldn't get rid of this person. The connection, that soul tie. Some people call it soul tie. Some people call it spiritual cords. It's basically when you're with someone intimate or you're in a relationship, you are sharing what we call a soul bond that's been created. Okay, your energy has gone into that person. That person's energy has gone into you. There's a connection from your heart space to their heart space. It's like an invisible string. You can't see it, but that energy is there. And if you're a twin flame or a soulmate, it's even harder to sever that tie. You're always going to think about that person. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's easy to get rid of them from your thoughts, but you can do certain things. The first thing that you need to do is cleanse your house of everything that belonged to that person. Having personal objects from the person that you were in a relationship with is keeping that energy alive. If you have pictures on your phone, as painful as it is, boo, delete, 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 delete. If you have pictures on social media, but Ray, I want to see, you want to see, okay, you want to see, but you're still keeping that connection with that person. Those are memories that were created, and as long as they stay fervently in your mind by seeing it on your phone, get rid of it. Okay, pray to Archangel Michael, light a red candle, pray to Archangel Michael. Why a red candle? Because that's connected to love, it's connected to your bloodline, and ask Archangel Michael to be the intercessor and help you cut those soul ties. You want to wish that person good. A lot of people that are in relationships that end badly, they tend to fall in that category, like I'm the bitter ex, right? And so I'm wishing them that they have the worst relationship in the next relationship that they're with, and I hope that they break up with that person. Wishing ill intent on your ex is not good for you. Why? Because it keeps that soul tie connection going. Not only does it do that, but it is lowering your vibration and you're inviting bad energy into your life. Okay, so it's good to cut off those ties. You don't need that. Eventually you will slowly forget about this person. When you are, the one thing that a lot of people do when they're in relationships, believe it or not, and they end, it's hard to it's hard for social media to stay off of it. If they had an Instagram, you're checking it. But some women and some men, they'll block the other partner first, so that way they can unblock them and go and check. Or they have a false profile and go and check. You checking on them is keeping that connection alive, that soul tie. Again, it's hard. It's just like somebody that is addicted to smoking, right? Smoking cigarettes. You can't just one day put a patch or chew gum and expect to get over that. The same thing happens with soul ties, or soul cords. All right. That was a very good question. Enchanted Pisces says, Ray, how do we block psychic attacks? Very, very simple. You can protect yourself with black tourmaline, wear a Saint Benedictine medallion, basically shield yourself as much as possible. Some people wear talismans, wearing protective rings, crystals. Some women put them in their bras. Some guys put them in their underwear. Some people put them in their wallets, in their purse. It's crystals. I'm talking about crystals. Thank you, Pamela Conlon. She says, your Patreon is so full of content. I love it. I love you guys too. In fact, let me leave the Patreon here listed. So for those of you that want to go and check it out, let me see here. Ooh, this is going fast. So let me go back up. Lauren Emerson, my 5-year-old daughter has bad night terrors. Do you have any suggestions to help her? Also, have you heard of Lilydale, New York? Such a wonderful energy there. Yes, my best friend, or Michelle White Dove, if you haven't heard, she is a speaker over there. I know Jordan, who is the chef over there, Lisa Williams. So yes, it's a beautiful community, spiritual community. It's far away from Texas. Someday I would love to visit and maybe teach over there. It's so spiritual. I really adore all of the mediums over there that work over there. As far as your daughter is concerned, she is a medium. I am hearing spirits say that. I don't know if she's afraid of the dark. Keep a nightlight in her room. Very, very important. And give her a crystal. She's very young, but give her something like a flashlight that she can hold on to. When she feels scared, she can turn it on and then go to sleep. Empower your daughter not to be afraid, not to give into that, those night terrors that are happening. Right before bed, she can say something. I know she's very young, but you can hold her hand and you can pray together. I believe in prayer, especially for children. And you can say something so simply, my guardian angel. What's that one prayer that I used to say all the time? I can't remember the name, the exact wording, but it was a prayer like, guardian angels near. I can't remember the exact wording, but you can pray to your to her. Holding her hand, pray for her angels to protect her, right before bedtime. Um, and also cleanse her room. Get some sage and sage her room, and do this like once a week. I also feel like it's going to be good for her to like doodle. So like get her a little artist pad and, or like whatever, kids. I don't know. I don't have a kid of my own. So like any toys or things that where they can doodle, like sketch pads, get her to sketch whatever. Kids are around that age already are sketching, drawing. Get her to do something of that nature, and pay attention to the pictures that she is drawing and the things that she says she's seeing. I feel like she's very developed and she is seeing things already, but she may not verbalize it. Okay. I am me says advice on making an altar for my deceased mother. Absolutely, have a picture on your altar space. What did your mother like to eat when she was alive? What did she like to wear? If you still have an article of her clothing, maybe a jewelry piece that you are not using, you could put that on the altar. You can put some foods that she used to like. A lot of people do this in Mexico for Dia de los Muertos, or they make retablos. And so basically, they'll have like little altars with things that their loved ones that passed on used to like to eat, etc., to keep their memory alive. So you can definitely do that. I feel like that would help. Um, Okay, I says, Ray, when you say soul ties, I have two friends who hurt me that I have photos of. So just delete these photos. Absolutely. My question is, why don't you delete them? Why do you want to hold on to someone that hurt you? If y'all are not friends right now, that energy again, were they ever really your friends? If you're not friends right now, I know that things happen, people change, and things go on, but delete those photos because having them is having a connection to them. It's like if you are bitter about if you had an ex that made your life hell, right? Why would you want to hold on to their photographs and see them, right? Especially if you knew they were cheating on you and they couldn't come forward, and then you found out through the other that they had a baby with somebody else. Just using it as an example, you wouldn't want that energy anymore. It's like seeing somebody that you hate, right? The protection spray, I get it off of Etsy. Irene Ramirez says, "What do you do when that soul tie is the father of your kids and you have pictures of the kids in them?" There are some things, don't get it twisted. There are some things that you can't delete, obviously, right? Those are memories. Your children are going to need them, etc. But you can pray, over the photographs if they're printed out. If they're in your phone, it's up to you if you want to delete them or maybe archive them, save them to a computer disk, to a USB. Save them to a USB, download them onto your computer, and transfer them. If you have an iPhone and you have a MacBook, you can just airdrop that to your, and if you don't, you can put them on it. Email them to you, like email an attachment to your email. Save them somewhere else if your kids want to see them later on, but get rid of them on your phone. Mighty Petty. If I'm ever going to make protection spray, that is something on my to do list eventually. Someday that if I have more space, I will. But for right now, the answer is no. Just see here. D. Williams says, I have psychic abilities. I just don't know what. The fact of the matter is, and this is what I teach on Patreon as well, you may have psychic abilities and may not even know what they are. My courses are designed and they go over, I have different videos that are recorded that are not here on my YouTube channel, that are only on Patreon, that are about psychic development and help you to understand there's different kinds of clairs, different ways that people's gifts work. It's not all streamlined. There's not a manual for everything out there. People have so many psychic gifts that are with them, but they don't know how to use them. We're all intuitive. We're all a little psychic, all of us, everybody. And it's called intuition. Life Coach '05 says, Ray, are psychic abilities generational? Absolutely. I mean, where do you think you got them from? A lot of them come from your mom's bloodline, your father's bloodline, your grandma that had those gifts. Um, and then some of those gifts are not just generational, but they're actually from past lives that you would have had as well. We do come sometimes if you had spiritual gifts in your past life, you are reincarnated with those gifts. Okay, GMO S for all says, Ray, can you please tell us what are the best crystals for protection? Okay, write this down. It's going to be lapis lazuli, amethyst, black tourmaline, a rainbow obsidian, moonstone, quartz, like a clear quartz, and citrine. Those are my favorite go-to protective. All of those are protective. Any crystal is protective for different things, but those are the main go-tos. If I had to choose, like, what are my main go-to crystals, it would be I definitely would say, oh, selenite is also a good one. Black tourmaline and selenite are very, very good. And then lapis lazuli. I love lapis. It's the color of my glasses, and it has some gold in it as well. Okay, Miss Shante or Shanti says, Hey Ray, I felt a presence around my bed the other night. It scared me. How do you know if it's a bad or a good one? It's a very, very good question. If it is a bad spirit, you're gonna feel not just scared, but you're gonna feel oppressed. You may have other things that are going on that they're doing to kind of scare you, like um scratching you, because a lot of people think that scratches are necessarily demonic, and they're not. Sometimes if it's a malevolent or a darker energy, a bad energy or a bad spirit, they'll do that. Physical attacks. If you're having a lot of nightmares after you felt this, or you're feeling very like uncomfortable in that space, then it's probably not a good thing. If you are feeling okay, if you feel peaceful when this is around you, if you can function in your own home, then you are dealing with a good one. And that's kind of how to differentiate. Listen to your body's signals and what your body is feeling. Your body is like a compass, and it is going to tell you exactly what is going on. If your body you start having headaches, you start feeling sick around this thing, then it's time to start saging and start time to pull out your Bible or pull out your prayers, right? Or say pull out the sage and the Palo Santo. I'm just reading here the comments, guys. Give me a second. Okay, Bianca 1013 asked a very, very good question. She says, how do you know if you will reincarnate, or how do you know if you will reincarnate, and do you have a choice? There are souls that basically that are older souls that have reincarnated repeatedly, and once your soul has mastered all of the karmic lessons, all of the cycles that it's needed to here in the physical world, a lot of people that are living and a lot of people in this current life know that they're not going to come back. They just know it in the pit of their stomach that they're not going to come back, or choose to come back to this a place that we call Earth to reincarnate. um but if you are someone that, like, this is what I preach very, very strongly. If you're someone that has a lot of anger and bitterness towards somebody, you haven't been able to forgive someone, you are worried about your kids, or you're worried about family members, you hold on to a secret before you die, um all of those things, like unfinished business, those are the people that will most likely reincarnate. It's unfinished business. People that leave this world is with unfinished business, or didn't get to say goodbye necessarily to their loved ones, or make peace with their loved ones. Those souls will most likely reincarnate again to master those lessons that weren't, like, if you're someone that was constantly in 5 6 relationships, 5 6 marriages, and you went through one husband through the next, and you never found somebody that you could stick to long term. Okay, I'm going to just use Elizabeth Taylor as an example. Homegirl out there was a beautiful lady, right? And she was married, what, 4 or 5 times? You know, she's going to reincarnate if she didn't master the lesson in this lifetime. Even if she was older and wiser, etc., those are the ways that you will know if you're going to reincarnate. Now, that this doesn't necessarily apply to everybody's situation, and not everybody that is married 4 or 5 times is going to reincarnate. I'm not saying that, but I'm just giving you an example on how to identify things within your lifetime. A lot of people go throughout this life not really realizing that they are repeating certain things in their life that they haven't mastered. And these are the karmic lessons that, if you don't master it in this time, in this lifetime, and you die, or you exit, your soul chooses to exit at a certain time without mastering, you're going to go ahead and do that. A lot of the people that are not going to reincarnate, they also know that they're tired of this world. They never have felt good in this world, and they feel on a deep level that they don't want to be here anymore. Okay, so a lot of the people, I'll say this as well, some of the people that have committed suicide for that very reason was because they wanted to exit this world and didn't want to reincarnate. Sometimes suicide victims do reincarnate because they didn't finish their life. But in some cases, those souls were so evolved, they were ready to exit this life. They already had accomplished their mission. So there's just different scenarios, different examples. Everybody has a life blueprint is different, our soul lessons, etc. Okay, all that in a bag of cherries. Says Ray, when someone owes you money and they don't pay you back, do you drop it or you keep asking? I say drop it. Why lose your peace over that? They're going to get their karma some way down the road. That's the thing, people. The things that you do to other people in this lifetime, if it doesn't catch up to you here, it'll catch up to you in the afterlife. It's going to come back sooner or later. Don't waste your time trying to get vengeance or keep asking them. Obviously, they already set their mind. But when something bad happens to them, something negative, something karmic, they're going to know and remember that thing, that they didn't do. A lot of people are like that, and I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's crazy. Melissa Hart, thank you so much. She says, thank you for love. Thank you. Love listening to your channel. I'm a new subscriber. All right, guys, I'm going to put it up because it is late here and I need to get some rest. But I wanted to pop on and say hi and I love you. And yeah, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through all of this retrograde. We're going to get through all of this crazy energy in the world. It is crazy, crazy, crazy. I hope you found this really, really enlightening or helpful. And I will be back sometime, I think next week. I will definitely be back on another live. Until next time, love and light, guys. Bye.